want to erase every piece of you from my life and make sure that you know that I no longer need you, I no longer want you, and I fucking hate you.
I would rather die a million deaths from every thug in this city than be associated with you.
Right. Because that is true female vengeance. Men, watch out.
Welcome back to the What's Our Verdict podcast, where we fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. This is our trial series where we look at the evidence and discuss the facts of a movie. We then pass judgment and share our verdict with you. I'm your host, JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-host, Javier Ortiz.
What's up, nerds?
And today we have two special guest hosts. We have Nicole Ortiz.
Hello, welcome to this safe and unsafe place.
That's true.
That is true. And Casey Ridge.
Yeah, it's definitely not safe.
Not safe place.
And whose fault is that?
Apparently, it's my fault.
Well, everything is, Javier.
I would just like to say that Casey started this out by saying, fuck you. So,
you like to start out by deep-throating.
the mic, okay?
It's important to be specific.
To warm up my vocals.
And welcome to our most explicit podcast in record. All right, so the movie we're discussing today is Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. So it was released in February of this year. Birds of Prey was directed by Kathy Yan and written by Christina Hodson. It stars Margot. Here we go again. Every time we do this, I mess up a name. Margot Robbie in her return to Harley Quinn, Rosie Perez, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Jurnee Smollett-Bell as the eventual Birds of Prey, Renee Montoya, Huntress, and Black Canary. Ella J. Bosco as the pickpocket Cassandra Cain, Chris Messina as the sociopath Victor Zass, and Ewan McGregor as Roman Sionis, or the Black Mask.
I love him so much.
Do you really?
I do.
I hate Ewan McGregor so hard.
So hard.
Ding, ding.
And no. All right. So let's get a synopsis. You didn't get to interrupt me this time.
No.
It was Nicole.
I waited.
I know.
Somebody had to, right? I was filling those shoes.
All right. So it's open season on Harley Quinn when her explosive breakup with the Joker puts a big fat target on her back. Unprotected and on the run, Quinn faces the wrath of narcissistic crime boss Black Mask, his right-hand man Victor Zass, and every other thug in the city. But things soon even out for Harley when she becomes unexpected allies with three deadly women, Huntress, Black Canary, and Renee Montoya. So, we're going to go in spoiler-free first, guys. I want to hear what you guys thought of this movie, what you liked, what you didn't, but don't give anything away. Then we'll break into spoiler territory after we warn these good folks to not listen anymore if they haven't seen it. So, Javier.
Got it.
What'd you think?
Okay, spoiler-free. This was a baller movie, and Ewan McGregor is a god. So...
He's trying to start the fight right out the gate.
Great movie. Awesome.
Nicole.
I really liked it a lot. I thought it was really colorful, and I really loved all of the action sequences. I love Margot Robbie. I have a crush on her for sure. And I love Ewan McGregor. So both of those two people, I got a lot of eye candy. Just happened for me. It was good.
I was right next to you the whole time.
And you also
Sorry,
were great
I love you, but
in the movie.
Yeah. To be fair, I was wearing PJs while we're watching it. That's why.
To be fair, I was just watching the screen, you know, and you weren't on the screen.
No,
I love you so much.
All right, Casey, what'd you think?
Besides the fact that Javier is definitely going to have to deep throat later.
Dude,
For real.
if that's on the table with Ewan McGregor,
Jesus.
Hey, we already talked about Denzel in one episode. So,
To be honest, I went in thinking I was going to hate it. I am a true feminist, and I do not love female-driven superhero characters. So I was not prepared to like it, but I
isn't
was
that like the
pleasantly
opposite
surprised.
of what you should like? Shouldn't
Yeah.
you be like a fan of?
Yeah, just on principle alone, I should be, but I'm not.
Oh, okay.
But I was.
Is it just because it's like forced?
Yeah.
Oh, like Captain Marvel forced?
Yeah.
Ooh, that was definitely
That was a bad movie.
So,
rough.
but I did like it. I wouldn't say that I was in love with it, but I did like it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I love Margot Robbie. I also huge crush on Margot Robbie. I went and saw this movie. I was like her. I thought I wasn't going to like it because, DC hasn't been my favorite comic movie makers yet.
Like live action movies?
Yeah, like none of their live action
But they've
movies
got a lot of good movies now.
I wouldn't say a lot.
Do
They've got
they?
a couple.
They've got this one. They've got Joaquin Phoenix Joker. They have all 3 Christian Bale Batman movies. They have Shazam. They have Wonder Woman. They're coming out with Wonder Woman 2. Like, dude.
Okay, more than I thought. You're not wrong. There's
Wonder
a couple
Woman
there I would
bored
question.
me to death.
I love Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she didn't love Wonder
I
Woman.
was so bored.
What?
That's another one that I went to watch because of the actress.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Oh,
Gal Gadot,
I love her too.
Gal Gadot is-
beautiful, fantastic.
Wanna be like her?
But
She's amazing.
not giving her justice.
And I
Anyway,
like Chris Pine too. But anyway, yeah. So I went thinking, because I love Margot Robbie. She's a great actress. Everything she does, I enjoy. But turns out I really like this movie in spite of what I thought I was going to think. So, but I love Ewan McGregor. She hates the fact that I love Ewan McGregor, but I do. But I didn't love him in this movie, which we'll talk about. Okay, so there's our spoiler free. Seems all of us enjoyed it, whether we thought we would or not. From this point on, there will be spoilers. So if you have not seen this movie and you do not want spoilers, stop the podcast, go watch the movie, come back, listen from here.
But seriously, go watch it.
Yeah, you should go watch it. If you're still listening, you don't care about spoilers, welcome to Spoilerville. So let's talk about it now. Who wants to get started? What are your thoughts? Oh, Casey.
Yeah, dude.
Right now.
Yeah.
it
Give me
is
the
the
fucking mic.
biggest fuck you to an old boyfriend on the planet. And honestly, it is what every woman wants to do post breakup because it's not enough.
Blow up their factory.
I just don't want to break up with you. I want to erase every piece of you from my life and make sure that you know that I no longer need you, I no longer want you, and I fucking hate you. And she did that.
I would rather die a million deaths from every thug in this city than be associated with you.
Right. Because that is true female vengeance. Men, watch out.
That's a perspective that I didn't, because I get the whole blow some shit up to say, I hate your ass, but getting murdered by every thug in the city instead of being associated, that's a level of shit that I just can't.
You know, a lot of Text from Ex-Girlfriends make a lot more sense now with that perspective.
It's an interesting
You're
concept.
welcome.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Thanks for clearing that shit up. See, this is why we wanted them here for this, is to bring that extra perspective, because we'd be fumbling around like a couple of knuckleheads trying to talk about this shit.
I was a little disappointed not to see Jared Leto in this movie. And I knew going into it that I wouldn't see him.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed though.
I wasn't.
Why do you need Jared Leto?
Because he's a baller. Did you see Suicide Squad?
Did you see her in Suicide
Oh,
Squad?
no, don't get me wrong.
He was in Suicide Squad for what, like 10 minutes?
I came for Margot Robbie.
Yeah. You want to continue down that path?
Who hasn't? But no.
Deep throating, coming for Margot Robbie.
That's not what I meant. I watched the movie for Margot Robbie, not Jared Leto. I was just like, I would have liked to see him, like another interaction between the two of them. You know. That's
What?
all.
She could like junk punch him and watch him butter on the ground?
That would have been awesome.
She
Why?
did enough of that. See, I didn't need that. I'm okay that he was. In fact, I'm actually glad he wasn't, because it would have been the Jared Leto show. Like it was.
That's fair.
Coming up to see Suicide Squad, everybody cares about the Joker. That name alone invokes nerd boys orgasm for days. And so the fact that he wasn't in it, I didn't have to deal with the lead up to, which I really appreciated.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, this is all about female empowerment, right?
Yeah, I'm all about females being empowered.
You got female cast. You've got all the songs were female.
Yeah.
None of them were men.
There was only one
I did not
that
know
had a man in it.
Well, no, Barry White had a song on it, but
okay.
that was the only one. And then there was a feature with a rapper that was in it, but everything else was female music. And let's talk about the soundtrack for a second. It was amazing.
It was so fun.
It was so good. And it was perfect. Like they fit it in with the exact mood of every moment of the movie.
Yeah.
Like it was great.
I will say that this was a much better like female empowerment movie than anything Marvel's done so far.
Oh, absolutely.
Like my biggest beef with Marvel's in Endgame, and they have that stupid scene where like all the women in Marvel get together to like run the gauntlet to the van.
Yeah.
Immediately after Captain Marvel like busted through a warship. Like she doesn't need anyone's help. I'm like, sorry, she doesn't need any of like the Wakanda's chicks help. You know, whatever. But I understand they did it because, you know, they had tickets to sell.
Sure.
This movie, on the other hand, was awesome because I loved watching women beat up men for 2 hours. Like that was the coolest thing ever.
It was for the badass because they were all Billy badasses.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing missing out of Marvel, but
I mean, it's not the one thing.
go fuck yourself. But you care more about the Marvel characters than you do about the DC characters.
I care about
in my opinion.
more watching the Marvel characters die, that's for sure. than the DC characters.
That's dark.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about Marvel. We should.
We will, I'm sure, at some point.
They are garbage movies.
You're a fucking garbage.
It's literally the same movie 22 times.
Okay, we're not here to talk about Marvel. Let's get back on track here.
Reining it back in.
Birds of Prey. That's why you keep me around.
Yeah. Oh, also, Ewan McGregor, so dope.
No.
He was a great blackface.
Well,
Oh yeah, he was awesome.
Ewan McGregor in every single
Black
thing
Mask.
that he does.
No one was blackface in this film, just to be clear.
Wow.
Black Mask. It was on his face, okay?
Ewan McGregor will always be a whiny little bitch. In every role that he plays, he's a whiny bitch.
What?
And I can't get past it. I can't. Even in this one, he wasn't the true villain. Zsasz was the true villain. Zsasz is the creepy one that you don't want walking up behind you.
Yeah, but in the animated movies, that's how Black Mask is too. He's just whiny and erratic, and he sends people. He just throws a fit in his office and has other people go do stuff for him. So with that in mind, I think Ewan McGregor did great.
I could have watched very many other actors be whiny. And I think it was partly because it was so over the top. I get that Black Mask is a whiny baby. I'm familiar with the cartoons. I'm familiar with the comics. And he is. He's a whiny, cries a lot, and he's really weird. But Ewan McGregor took it so over the top. There was one moment at the end, when he starts crying because she betrayed him, because Canary betrayed him at the very end when he doesn't talk. If he would just be a whiny little dude without talking so much, I think I'd have been better.
That was a little weird because in the animated series, he just kills people.
Yes.
In his office, he'll just strangle them.
Yeah. And
break
this
their
one, he
necks.
throws pillows.
Right. That was a little weird.
Yeah. Nicole, I'm going to put you on the spot. We haven't heard from you.
I know. I'm just having so much fun listening to you guys.
It's the danger of the podcast.
It is, and I accept that danger when I sat down. Talking about the characters, I went into this movie prepared and expecting to see Margot Robbie fight a bunch of people and murder a bunch of people, that's what I was expecting in the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn way, and it did not disappoint. However, because the movie was so focused around her and she's narrating and it's all about kind of her development, her character development, there was really none of that from everybody else. So I really only cared about her in the entire movie. So most of the other characters I didn't really have a major opinion about, just because you got Black Mask and Huntress, you got a little bit of their backstory, but that was about it. And so I didn't really care about them at all during the movie.
I also like that they didn't take the Huntress's backstory seriously at all. And it's the most depressing one.
It is the most depressing. I think it was just goofy because she kind of invented this persona for herself, and people were just no. Her backstory was valid and super depressing, but what she decided to do with it just seemed a little silly, and people didn't take it seriously. I thought that was really funny that they didn't, because I also didn't. If they didn't in the movie, I also would have been that's kind of dumb.
JJ has some serious opinions about Huntress.
She's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She's super uncomfortable.
I've seen this twice now, and both times I'm please stop talking.
I thought that was on purpose.
It's crazy.
And
it is.
Yeah.
It very much.
She's trying to
live with a socially awkward human being.
Very true.
Namely me.
Oh, I'm are you the socially awkward one?
Yeah, for sure. I don't pick up on social cues, and plus I don't give a shit. So for me, I really adored that character because she's me in a movie.
Yeah,
he hated her.
I did. We came out and I was I hated what they did with Huntress because it made me squirm in my seat. And I was I don't like doing that. She goes, that was the point. I was I get that was the point. She goes, yeah, but it's me. And I'm shit.
I was made yourself into a corner there, buddy.
I like you.
Because I have so many redeeming qualities.
Hey, to me you do. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, she sits and stares at people the whole time, and then she makes a comment. And this is Huntress, not Casey.
Though
Casey
I don't know.
I share
do that.
I could out you right now, but I won't.
Oh, please do. Please do.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. So we'll move
I
on.
legitimately don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
I really don't.
Because if you don't, then I'll eye contact.
Do I make bad eye contact?
Do I?
Oh, shit. Yeah. No. I just remembered. Yeah, no. We're good. Anyway, moving on. So is that Huntress?
Fuck you both.
We used to work together. We talk about things.
That was funny.
Anyway.
Sorry. I'll tell you later because otherwise I'm going to
No,
die.
you definitely shouldn't.
I have to now because it came up.
Okay, all I said was that sometimes you make a lot of eye contact. Sometimes, all the time, every time I've ever met you.
Kind of like right now.
Yeah, like right now. And I don't see like that. I don't know what to do. So I look away and I look down and I look back and you're still staring at me.
I feel like it's a sign of respect. Do you really want me to like look at the ceiling? Because that's fucking awkward.
Maybe blink would be nice.
I can win a staring contest. What do you want from me?
No, but the best part was that when he said it, it was so much eye contact, and that was
in
the
all
best part.
caps.
No, but it was great because I was like, I get it. I live with her, so I'm very aware.
This was all over text, and JJ's like, "Yeah, I just told her you said that." I was like, "No, what? Why would you say that?"
For that reaction right there.
Yeah, he did not tell me.
Yeah, it was pretty funny though.
It's a fair point.
It is, but so something I really liked about this was like DC's equivalent to Deadpool, only they did it better. In my opinion, and I love Deadpool, don't get me wrong. Both Deadpool movies were so much fun, but the fact that Harley Quinn is constantly breaking the fourth wall, even with like a look to the screen. There's a couple times where she just looked at the screen. I was like, this is like so Deadpool-esque.
Oh my God, can we talk about that? So like mid-movie, the bad guys catch her, they're about to kill her, and then she's like, whoa, wait, get in my pocket. And the first time they pull something out of the pocket, Javier, JJ, did you know what that was?
You know I didn't know what that was until you told me.
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember what it
I
was.
remember that scene. I don't remember what they pulled out of her pocket.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're dudes and you wouldn't know. So the first pocket they get into, they pull out a tampon and he drops it, and then she looks and just like shrugs her shoulder and smiles at the
Right
camera.
at the screen.
I mean, I know
And then
what a
she's
tampon
like,
looks
other
like.
pocket. It was so funny, but I think it was lost on both of you.
Well, no, it was so split second that, I mean, if you were to hold up a tampon in my face, it'd be like, oh, that's a tampon.
Right.
But when he pulls it out and then he's immediately like drops it.
Yeah, I'm not like
And she's
conditioned to see those
She's like,
out.
other pocket.
When it's like Margot Robbie and a tampon on the screen, like,
well, it was funny.
I'm going to look at Margot Robbie.
That's a fair point. Well, she's giggling the whole time, both times we watched it, that happened. And I'm like, I don't get what was so funny. He pulled something that was the wrong thing out of her pocket, but I didn't recognize what it was. And we get in the car and she goes, did you know what he pulled out of her pocket? I'm like, no, it was a tampon. I'm like, oh. So I see why you were laughing. So yeah, but she does. She looks at the screen a lot and does this whole thing, like, and I just loved it. But I made that comparison. I was like, I didn't think anybody could top Deadpool, but they did with this movie, in my opinion.
Dude, Margot Robbie does so well as Harley Quinn.
Oh.
And I really like that they brought back a lot of the like classic tropes. Like they have her like sledgehammer,
Yeah.
like a little wooden mallet. They have her bat, like her rollerblades and stuff. That was so fun. And the way that she used all those props was so fun to watch.
Can I just say the fun gun? I want a fun gun.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, like the
gun she uses in the police
the like
station.
beanbag.
Yeah, it has
Or
fun
the
gun.
glitter, or the pink and blue smoke.
Like the
oh
That
my
was
God.
by far and away the best scene in the movie.
That was
I
a
agree.
cool scene.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the top like action sequences of all time. Like I get, especially that first half when she walks in and she's like, "Hello, boys," just starts
shooting.
unloading,
Yeah.
and the one big fat cops tries to run away. And she's like, "Run, piggy, run!" Just, like the shit she says in this movie, and she just cackles like she'll hit somebody and go, and the laugh is so perfect.
Oh, that
yeah.
creepy clown laugh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's just like it's better than the Joker's ever
yeah.
has been, and it's so good. But that sequence, all three portions of that fight scene, the first, and then in the jail cell with all the water, and then the end when she's sitting by the cocaine and they shoot the cocaine, and
She just sniffs
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's so funny.
her eye and then she goes crazy. And
Which is that a thing? Do police stations just have pallets of cocaine?
they have pallets of drugs when they
in
do
evidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in evidence
Really?
lockers. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's
I'm in
probably
the
a
wrong
bit of a
profession.
stretch, but exactly. Yeah, they'll keep evidence little crates of drugs, however much they take. So
For someone like me who had just before the Suicide Squad in this movie, zero exposure to who Harley Quinn was. I didn't read the comics, so that this was my exposure to who she is. I felt like that scene told me basically everything I needed to know about her, and there was no narration, there was no exposition. I was just like, all right, yeah, I get this.
Well, and it was the same way in the Suicide Squad, when
Yeah.
at the very beginning, when she was doing like the acrobatics in the cage,
Yeah.
and you got that same feeling. And so I was really impressed that they carried that into here, but then they deepened how you felt about her.
yeah.
Because now it's like, I'm on her side, right? It's kind of like Dexter, whereas you have the serial killer who you love and adore and you want them to win by any means necessary and only better.
Yeah, I felt like there was a line through the whole movie. It's like, how do we get someone to be on, because all of the people in this movie are like killers and psychopaths, so how do you root for one of them? And so I think that they in some ways did a really good job at treading that line, in some ways maybe not as effective, but I felt like for the most part they tread that line really well. So like they could have just had her go in and like fight all of these and not have to kill them, or like she could have incapacitated them in any way. But I think having something fun like that and bringing in that part of her personality really did well for that line to make you like her, even though she's in there like infiltrating this, if that, whatever the right word is, going in to like, take this girl out of prison who definitely needs to be there. I don't know. I think they did a really good job at making you like her for the way that she chose to do that.
And let's be honest, she did get a pet. And the best
hyena?
I want a
Bruce Wayne, the hyena.
And she's all in his face, like goo goo gaga, he got it. And I loved her immediately.
I just wanted a hyena, and I'm like, that's just a bad idea, but I want one.
That was awesome.
So did you guys notice that she took, she has the J necklace that she rips off when she blows up the chemical plant and she throws it out the window. Mm-hmm. She switched, and before you even learn that she named him Bruce, she had a dog tag, one of those bone dog tags that you can get at like Walmart and the thing, and it had Bruce on it. And I didn't notice it until the second time we were watching it. And so they're in the grocery store stealing all the food, and she's with Cassandra Cain, and she comes out, and it showed a close up, and I saw Bruce, and I'm like, oh, that's funny, because I didn't notice it the first time, and she hadn't told you that she named him Bruce, but she replaced it with Bruce.
That is amazing.
I was like, that's awesome. I just enjoy everything that they did with this. Now, one thing I didn't like, so let's go ahead and get some of those things out there. I was really confused. So when she gets captured and Sionis smacks her in the face, and she goes into this weird...
Oh, yeah, where she's like Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, like the diamonds are a girl's best friend. And I get the use of the song, and it worked, and the scene was interesting, but I just felt, I was like, I don't understand why.
I think it was because they're trying to, the way that they had her narrate and how it's kind of bouncing back and forth, it was a little bit chaotic. I would imagine since she's the one that's narrating it, that they're trying to get you a little idea what's going on in her brain. And to me, that scene was like, we're just gonna take a quick break and I'm gonna watch myself sing a little song. Oh wait, sorry, back to the story anyway. And that's kind of what I thought it was that little area.
Well, and she kind of is that way, right? She is total like bright shiny object. Holy shit, what's over there? Totally. And you saw the same thing, like when they're at the very end when they're getting dressed and they're pulling all the shit out, and she's like, guys, we should get margaritas and pizza. And they're like, whoa, let's deal with this first. But she just kind of pings everywhere.
It's true. No, that's a good point. Because I did have a note that ever since Westworld, when they start doing this timeline, weird, twisty shit, like I get a little, I'm like, oh, this is overused. But with her, it made sense because the whole movie's from her cracked brain. So she's all over the place, which I enjoyed, and I didn't really think about it from that perspective.
But then, of course, like there, that is another line where it's like, how ping-pongy should we be? And where is that line to where this is fun? We gonna get where her brain is versus what is this doing in the movie? This is confusing.
But honestly, how many chicks have you talked to, and that's literally what we do?
There's one in this room.
I mean,
for sure.
You do.
Oh, for sure. But I am fucking nuts like that.
No,
I'm telling you right now, as soon as you handed me this mic, I did that in my brain. I was like, in my brain, holding this mic. Okay, back to the podcast. Sorry, where did you want me to put this?
I can legit be mid-sentence and like start talking about something else, and then this dumbass over here, he's like, so are you going to finish that fucking story?
I'm actually like that too.
Oh, I'm terrible.
Or I will, it'll be like 10 minutes have passed, and then I will start that thought up again, talking to Nicole as if nothing has happened.
Yeah.
And when we first started dating, Nicole's like, what are you talking about?
But the funny part of that is I knew what he was talking about, but I wanted him to realize that he had finished that thought 10 minutes ago, and he's just now bringing it back. Yes. The bridge needs to be
But that's kind of how this movie goes. Like that's how she thinks. And so I think they play really well into that, where it's she ping pongs around everywhere, or she's like, oh, yep, nope, I've started this story. Wait a second, you don't know how we got there. Let me back up a bit. Right? And I loved it. I loved like the organized and the chaos about it. Like it was fantastic.
I thought she towed the line between sanity and insanity like super well.
And don't you love how she explained crazy? So the little girl calls her crazy, and then she's like, $6 for a bottle of water with a cucumber slice. Now that's crazy. But she never outright says, nope, I'm not nuts.
Right.
I do like that she riddles, like you can see, because she was a psychologist or a psychiatrist, how she's constantly psychoanalyzing everyone in the movie. Like it's so much fun where she'll be like, speaking of, revenge rarely brings the catharsis we're looking for.
Yeah,
like,
that was such a good moment.
When she goes off on Sionis, where he's talking about like how when he's trying to talk to her, and she's like, oh, just stop. Just shut up. You're going to try to tell me that. And she goes,
she's like, no, really? You don't need to.
It's so much fun to watch her be outside of her mind for a minute, and then she breaks right down into stop and psychoanalyzes everyone in the room, and then goes right back to, we should get pizza.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably the most like girl power moment for me where I was like, get it, girl, was in the I don't even remember the actual quote where she's in the nightclub and someone says something to her and she's like, I have a PhD, and I was like, yes you do, girl, yes you do.
And then she jumps on that guy's
well, no,
knees.
it's after she broke
oh my
his
god,
legs.
it was fantastic.
And
then she sits on his lap.
Yeah. Because he's like, will you sit down? And she goes, yes. And then snap. Sits down, and then she switches couches, and that's when she's like, I have a PhD, motherfucker. And then Sionis walks over and it was great.
Well, and she's done some
good
really messed up shit. Like, what were all the things that were going across the screen when Sionis, when she's trying to figure out why Sionis wants to kill her?
Yeah.
And then this
that's
random
right.
shit floods across
I have
the bottom.
them all, okay? So, and because I love these character cards. When people are trying to kill her and it's like grievance, what she did to all of them.
That was
so his
super
just
fun.
Lists after lists. So I have them all. You ready? Here we go. Disabled his driver, pronounced it espresso, have a vagina, voted for Bernie.
Here's a vagina.
Here's my favorite one. Peed in his Brita.
Gross.
Called him Romy. Stuck gum under his table. Stole the remote. Called him Queef Richards. Sold a family heirloom. Spoiled lots of movies. Stole his limelight.
These are all like petty things.
Yeah,
Like,
Super
they just get worse. Left a floater. Interrupted him once. Didn't laugh at his jokes. Forgot to use a coaster. Burped the alphabet. Trashed his bedroom. Left the toilet seat down. Puked on his carpet. Changed the channel. Broke a window. Ate his lunch. Crashed his Rolls Royce. Ripped a loud one. Caused a ruckus. Graffitied his car. And finally torched his paintings.
wow.
That's the whole list.
Wow.
I can't tell you how it was very difficult to find that list.
I feel like on that list, it's like a lot of, some of those things are like psycho things. But a lot of those things are just like a normal,
Like a 6-year-old.
lame,
would do to
like a
you.
Like, what the
6-year-old
fuck
would
are
do
you
to you.
talking about? Like, everybody doesn't pee in a Brita sometimes?
Like that'd be one of those psycho things, but I don't know. A couple of those in there. Anyways, just like, stupid, silly prank type things that, normal people might find themselves doing, but psycho people take it a little bit farther, and psycho people keep them on a list.
Oh, yeah.
And then have them as you get to a certain point. It's like, all right, and this is the number of things to mean that I want to kill you now.
Well, and the fact that she can roll through them at will, like, it's just fantastic.
It's a perfect recall of everything she's ever done to someone.
But, like,
Except
all
for
of
the dude that she dared Joker to tattoo the clown face on.
oh, yeah.
Was it Joker that she dared?
Well, no, Joker
Yeah.
did do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the one that showed the back of his head with the green. And then the one she couldn't remember was the guy that threw the bomb in her apartment at the end. And it's like, I don't know his name. And then the grievance was the eggplant emoji with a circle and a line
that's
through it.
right.
It's like, I don't know his name, but it's because he couldn't get it up. And that's what I was like, oh, here we go. It was so good.
And I loved, so can we, when in the very beginning, when she's running away from all the bad guys and trying to get her way, and she stops to look at the shiny fanny
With her
pack.
sandwich.
Yeah, with her sandwich, and then she loses the sandwich, and she's more pissed about the sandwich getting
I love
ruined by
that.
the cop
That was another.
than she was
another one that I
anything
loved.
else. And then like at one point she's like, "Oh, Penny," and then the dude behind her gets shot by Huntress.
Oh, Penny. Speaking of the sandwich, I love that at the very end of this movie when the cop comes back she climbs through the window and she's like, "You killed my sandwich," and drop kicks her out the window.
Yeah.
Like, for her to recall the fact that that's what she's pissed about, she's trying to bring you down and put you in jail, and you kick her out the window because she ruined your breakfast sandwich. I love that part.
You can't find a good breakfast sandwich everywhere. Let's
It's
just lay
very
that
true.
out.
I
That is
did
really good
really and truly feel for her when that sandwich.
So I read a fun fact about that, and I don't know how true it is, but apparently the egg that they used in that was duck egg and not chicken egg because Margot Robbie is allergic to chicken egg whites.
I did know she was allergic to chicken eggs because she was on Hot Ones. Have you heard of this thing?
Oh, the hot wings thing?
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah.
She was on, and she talked about the fact that she was allergic to chicken eggs.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, yeah.
I love Margot Robbie so much.
Me too. It's
And
a
I like
problem.
what she's done with this character. Like, and I love that she didn't let them put her in like a spandex thing. She had a real voice about what I'm willing to wear, and you're not going to put me in different things. But then to your point earlier, right? They did bring in those like Harley Quinn specific things. So the roller skates or the like giant hammer thing that she uses at the end. So I love that she's like, nope, I have a voice. We're going to do this. We're going to modernize it. It's going to be great.
They even brought back the old outfit at the end. Like they pulled out that shirt. And
And then
she
she's
goes,
like,
no,
nope,
that's
sentimental.
value.
Oh, okay, that's right.
He throws it back. And they even I love that they tied with Captain Boomerang, the wanted poster in the cot when she's walking out.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, so there's a wanted poster, and as she's walking out of the room where the guy tells her where Cassandra Cain is, she goes, "Thanks, boys," and walks out. She goes, "I know that guy." And then that was Captain Boomerang from the Suicide Squad.
And I love that they make all the men look like douchebags, right? All the cops are idiots. The one cop that steals the credit. The Joker who looks like a complete douchebag because look at who you just gave up. Mind you, she's fucking nuts. But, I mean, let's be honest. You really like the nuts. For sure.
My favorite part of that scene is when she walks into that room with those cops, shoots one in the face, and then cocks her shotgun. And she's like, "I'm looking for Cassandra." And everyone's like, "Yep, over there." Like, no nonsense. I will shoot all of you in the face.
Well, and I loved how they did that too, because when she gets to that part, you just watched her devastate this hallway worth of cops, right? And then she walks in the room and they stop it right as she's shooting that shot. And you're like, no, keep going. And then they rewind it back. So I really enjoyed. I don't usually like the bouncing back and forth, but I did in this movie because they stop you just in time to get you excited. And then you're like, bring me back to that because that was fun. Also had some great quotes in this movie because we like to do these quotes. So I wrote down a bunch. Speaking of the egg sandwich, it kind of grossed me out when she talks about so she goes, "I don't know if it's the stray Armenian arm hairs or that the cheese is always 6 months out of date, but no one makes an egg sandwich like Sal." And I'm like, great, you have Armenian arm hairs in your egg sandwich. And then you kicked a woman out of the window for it.
Though, to be fair, like being from San Diego, some of the best Mexican food places are ones that you definitely can get botulism from. So I totally get like hole in the wall.
So one time we went to Korean barbecue and I made him go and we got through the meal and it's this like one little old lady back in the back with a one pot burner brings out the best bulgogi I have ever had in my life. And I still dream about it to this day and I would still go back. And while we're paying, behind the wall, crawling on the wall behind my head comes a cockroach. And he's like, "Don't turn around. Don't turn around." And then me, who I'm a total germaphobe and I like things to be just so, like, what? It was delicious. We have to come back.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's
you're willing to forego your germaphobe nature for this food?
Oh my God, it was that good.
Good for you.
Yeah,
What are we doing after this?
Yeah, seriously.
You want
Where is
to
this
go
place?
get some cockroach legs?
I'll be in the car. No.
In a bibimbap.
Yeah, she loves Korean barbecue, so that's where we were going. And I was so disturbed because her back's to the wall, and I watched this thing crawl up the wall, and I'm like, "Oh, see, I just ate this food." And it tastes really good, but that's
what makes it taste good.
Probably.
The cockroach legs just sprinkled in there.
So I can definitely relate to that thought.
I think my favorite quote is when we're we're getting to that point in the story where she's like, they say that every good story starts at the beginning, and then it's like a sperm swimming. She's like, oh, too far?
And then she's all dejected by it. She's fine.
I like when she tells a little girl, like, I'm just a terrible person, I guess. And then at the end, she's like, you make me want to be a less terrible person.
Such a fun play on that, isn't it?
I do like, though, that Harley Quinn didn't really change all that much in the movie. And I think that, like, a lot of times you feel like the main character has to improve, even if they are, like, the anti-hero-esque type of character. They have to get a little bit better, move towards being better. Like, Harley Quinn didn't really. She basically started a mercenary service with a minor.
Yeah, but here's the thing is I was not wanting that. I was fully prepared to go in and see a bunch of psychopaths do whatever psychopaths do. And I was like, don't make my psychopaths, do not turn them into heroes or else I will riot. I know that these are crazy people. I know that they're villains. Keep them villains. I just want to see them fight each other and like play the game of who's more likable.
No, I totally look forward to the next Harley Quinn movie when she's got this little mini-me with their own little mini fun gun. Oh my God. That little girl would be fucking phenomenal in that aspect.
You know what's funny is in the comics and all the cartoons and stuff, Cassandra Cain becomes Batgirl. And so she's actually...
She does?
Yeah, but so they completely changed her storyline, and I think for the better.
Oh, okay.
Because she's kind of a throwaway Batgirl. She's Batgirl for a short amount of time, and then someone replaces her. So I was okay that they changed it, but I was really confused when they announced it was going to be Cassandra Cain. I'm like, you're bringing Batgirl? So the way that they played her character and she becomes the sidekick of Harley Quinn, I thought that was fantastic.
That ending made sense of who she was. But is it bad of me? Like the whole entire time I was like, someone just gut this girl and get that diamond out.
That's true. She's with like a bunch of psychopaths.
It's true.
Right?
Like not that I would personally do that, but I'm like, you're with a bunch of psychopaths. There's a diamond in you. Freaking get that thing out. That's what this whole movie is about, is getting that diamond out. What are we doing? You guys are all crazy people. Cut that girl open.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the only
to
one
take
that
it to a
wanted
dark
was
place, like, could you imagine shitting out that diamond?
No.
Like, that's like shitting out a fucking walnut. Yeah. Think about that for a second. Do you know how bad that would fucking hurt?
Wouldn't that like do some damage?
Well, I was gonna say,
Like-
'cause
It's
diamond-
I mean, if it's tilted the wrong way.
Yeah, if
diamonds
it's
can cut
tilted, that's
glass.
gonna...
Yeah.
As long as the point came out first, you'd be fine. But aside
If it came
from
out
that,
perfect.
like, you're
Yeah,
fucked.
it's gotta come with the. It's gotta come
She's
out.
gonna get ripped up anyways, so might as well just...
Yeah, just cut the
I think
bitch
I'd
open.
rather the knife and just not have the. Yeah, it's bad. Of course, I did laugh they were in the Mexican restaurant at the end, and she's like, Harley, get the colander. And I'm like, oh no, they're going to sift through this girl's shit for the
She's
diamond.
like, if this food doesn't get it through her, I don't know what will.
Which I thought it was funny that they immediately went for like having her poop it out, because I was like, why don't you just make her throw it up? Is it too far gone? No?
I mean,
I don't
at
know.
that point,
That's
it'd been
much
several
faster.
hours.
You can, I don't know. Oh yeah, maybe. I
Like
don't
you
know.
could digest
I'm not a
something in like
biologist.
6 hours.
Biologist, that's wrong.
Yeah, I have no
That's
idea.
the wrong word.
I mean,
don't know.
that's the next day,
But it was
right?
Oh yeah,
fair.
maybe.
But it was certainly funny because they buy all that X-Lax at the store. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, how has she not shit this thing out yet? Because when they got her sitting on the toilet, she's duct taped to the toilet. It's hysterical.
I love that.
I love that so
And
much.
it was like such an overdone tape job. Like her arms are
It
all
was
taped to
perfect.
her elbows, and her legs can't even move. It's like she's so strapped to this toilet, and it took forever to cut her loose. I was like, that's a lot of duct tape. But I was like, has she seriously not gotten rid of this thing? And then the very end, they tell you, no, she hasn't. Like, that's some serious
Someone take that
stuff.
girl to a doctor.
Yeah, no kidding. I loved her name calling too. Like what'd she call Sionis? Mr. Face Peely Pants. And then she called when the weapons were gone. So she opened up that cupboard in the booby trap, and they were all gone. And she goes, "You slimy jizz nozzle." He took them all. I'm like, wow, I love these names. So because I make up names like that sometimes.
He does.
And then, what was it? She called Sionis, "You trustafarian fuckbag." I was like, where do you come up with this shit? And then I love when they're explaining what's her face, the Huntress's backstory, and she's like, "Yeesh kebab."
Yeesh.
That's some childhood trauma right there.
What's funny is I like the Huntress actress better in Gemini Man than
I
I
know.
did
Yeah.
in this movie.
I know. I think for like I said, I was like, because of the lack of like character development, and also because a lot of the girls in the Birds of Prey came in like the very end of the movie, like the Birds of Prey part was kind of near the end, that I didn't care about them as much. But for Ewan McGregor and for the Gemini Man girl, like I was like all about them, because it was like, I love you guys. I saw you in Gemini Man and you were awesome, and you're the only redeeming quality of that movie. And so that was probably the only thing that made me like interested in her, but the character as by itself didn't really do
That's
it
because
for
none
me.
of you like socially awkward motherfuckers like me.
It wasn't that. I didn't.
I'm just gonna
that
start
wasn't
staring
something
at
that was-
all of you and not blinking to get you used to it.
In my brain, when this was happening, I was like, I did not notice that. I was like, oh yeah, perfectly fine. I'm talking to you. You're talking to me. We're making eye contact. And there are perfectly fine ways to break eye contact and bring it back. I don't know.
Well, here, you're breaking eye contact. I'm still staring at you.
Yeah.
So just know that.
Yeah.
You just haven't realized yet that she's still staring. But
You know who was creepy? Sorry, go.
No, go ahead.
You know who's creepy? Like, I'm not kidding. Staz, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Chris Messina.
Super, super creepy. And it took me the entire movie to place him. And it wasn't until I left when I figured out that he was from Newsroom. And I'm like, I know that voice. I know that voice. I know that voice. And then I placed him and I'm like, holy shit. They did a fucking phenomenal job with the makeup, because I could not recognize him. And I've seen that series 100 times.
At least.
Oh my God. But the makeup alone and across all the characters,
Oh yeah.
those makeup artists are seriously top notch.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing to be able to see the transformations that they had.
Yeah, and all the visuals are cool. I like the to your point there. I like the transition from. So it was really interesting when you think about we're here in Harley Quinn's mind, right? Mm-hmm. So at the very beginning, when they're going through the breakup scene, it's always at night. It's really dark. There's some weird shit going on, right? Then it gets really colorful for the rest of the movie, where she's having fun, she's enjoying herself.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's a really good point.
And
actually.
then at the end, when they go to the booby trap, she's in a dark place. She's feeling shitty about herself. The little Asian restaurant guy just turned her in. She's getting ready to betray this little girl. And now it gets all, and they go and it's dark. It's night again. It's all foggy and creepy. And there's no color hardly at all, except when they're fighting.
Yep.
again.
It's when they start fighting all of a sudden. And it's really when they get into the chest. And once they've been in the chest and she's back to Harley Quinn, like it totally turns and it gets all bright and crazy and fun again.
Yeah.
And seriously, that going down the slide and her creepy little laugh, and she's like, this way.
Follow me.
I will legit have nightmares about that for a while.
That was awesome.
So follow me. And she
And then she does the like, hey.
Yeah. Oh, her laugh
it was crazy.
is so good.
I love. They're like, when did she have a chance to put on rollerblades?
Oh, yeah.
When did she have a chance for a shoe change?
Yeah. She's totally just on these like roller skates.
And even though it's so unrealistic, it's so much fun to watch her get drugged behind a motorcycle.
Oh, that was awesome.
Are you shitting me?
Swing me.
Yes. And then she does the backflip over the front of the car and lands. It was so good. Kicks that dude in the face with the roller skates. I was like, oh, that'll fuck you up. All right. So I think we've reached the point in the podcast where we're going to rate. I don't know if I told you to. So we do a 5-point scale. You can do halves. You can't be like Javier and try to throw in 4.8.
I mean, you can try. JJ will just block you.
I will shut you down on that. So you can do halves, but no really weird 4.8s, 4.9s like Javier tried to do with John Wick.
It deserved a 4.8.
It deserved a 5, motherfucker.
That's what I'm talking about.
She may like that movie more than you do.
Hell yeah.
A guy gets revenge for his dog getting killed.
That's what I said.
I know, but then you tried to make it about his best friend, and
I was just making the point that it makes sense why he got a little more erratic. His day just got that much worse.
Bringing up John Wick, I feel like there were a couple of John Wick-esque elements in Birds of Prey. Like they killed her hyena and now she's got to run away from all these assassins. Anyway.
Way to bring us back on track.
Thank you. You're so welcome.
I love the hyena huff.
I do too.
When he just like
Hyena.
laughs the one time in the background and he actually is laughing while they're laughing at the TV.
Well, I was going to say, they do this like sequence. The Cassandra laughs, then Harley laughs, and then
the
he
hyena
laughs.
does.
I was like, this is like perfect. All at some weird TV show. All right, so we'll go, like I said, 5-rate scale, and then we talk about whether you'd go see it again or not. Casey, we'll start with you.
Hell yeah, Casey.
I would probably give it... I'd probably give it a 4. I would see it again, but I would see it again for like Zaz and Margot Robbie, and then the Canary. But the rest of them I could do without.
Nicole?
I'm like really the same. I would give it a 4 because I would see it again for some specific characters, mostly Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn, because that was super fun. If I'm in the mood for just watching Harley Quinn throw her glitter rounds, and 4 out of 5 for me. I hit the nail.
Javier?
I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 because
You would.
It's Margot Robbie. Great acting. Really fun colors. And if you just want to watch just mayhem, like Joker type mayhem with a better actor than Jared Leto, like this is the movie.
For sure.
That's fair. I give it a 4.5 as well. My half point comes from her use of the bat.
Oh,
When she bounces it off the floor.
Called Goodbye. Is that what the bat is called?
Well, yeah, so the wooden bat has Goodbye on it, but then she has that metal bat in the police station that she finds.
Oh, right.
She bounces it off the floor, hits a dude in the face, catches it, then turns around and breaks this dude's legs 3 times.
Yes!
I was like, that's perfect use of a bat.
That
So
was
for the
so
bat
cool.
alone, I give it a 4.5.
I forgot about that. What a cool scene.
Oh, yeah.
That whole police... I
The
could
whole
watch
police
that
station.
police station scene a million times.
Me too. It's amazing.
Man.
I love it. So yeah, 4.5 for me. It's a good rating. Good movie overall.
I'd watch it again.
Absolutely.
I would.
In fact, I would be like, let's go watch it right now. It's so much fun. So there you go, guys. Javier, I'm about to call you out and see how much you remember.
Oh, shit. I'm supposed to remember this.
Yeah. Where can they find us, Javier?
Okay. So you guys can find us on Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram, and Twitter at What's Our Verdict. You can also email us at hosts@whatsourverdict.com.
So I have a question on that. If I want you guys to review a specific movie, could I email you at that address or reach out via Twitter or Facebook or
All of them.
Insta, right? Did I hear?
Yeah.
So if I want you to say, I don't know, what's it?
Like Magic Mike.
Yes.
Why would you
That
do
has
that?
to happen.
Why would you do that?
It's Channing Tatum.
Can we get you some really terrible ones like Isn't It Romantic? But if I want to force you to watch something stupid or silly or one that I think is great, like I can just email you and you'll do it.
Oh, bring it on.
Awesome.
I'm so game.
Yeah, we would love that, actually.
Yeah.
We welcome that. Because we do have a hard time picking sometimes. So we'd love that.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, it's been predominantly action movies because we are 4 dudes in our 20s. Well,
Yeah, shut up.
3 dudes in our 20s, 1 in his 50s.
Whoa, fucker. Close enough, it feels like sometimes. No, we have done a lot of action. I think I was the only one to bring anything different when we did Larry Crowd.
Wait, and who got you into Larry Crown?
Oh, that
that's
was
right.
definitely Casey.
That was the magic
so
find of
Casey's
mine.
a backbone of this podcast.
Dude, I'm
apparently.
telling you, just so you know, half the movies that I would recommend us to watch that I'm like, oh, you're going to hate this movie, they come from her.
I didn't
And
hate
I love
Larry
them.
Crown.
No, I know you didn't.
Yeah.
I could tell when you listen to our
hate
podcast.
Batman.
I either find really great
There it
ones
is!
or really bad ones.
There it is! Oh,
We're married.
I love it. It's good
yeah.
times.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Well, not shit now.
Yeah, because a Jurassic Park reference came into play and boom, shut everything down.
All right. So, yeah, those are all the places that you can find us. Please reach out. Also, you can find us where all podcasts are found, all your fine podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Podchaser, Spotify.
Oh, yeah, big Spotify. We're definitely on
Yeah,
Spotify.
Spotify is our big one. But you can also go to our website at www.whatsourverdict.com. You can listen there as well as provide feedback. We'd love some ratings on iTunes or follow us on Spotify. Check out our sister podcast, What's Our Verdict TV. We are starting Westworld, so we're going to watch and review it. That'll be coming out on Wednesday, so a couple days after our movie releases. So it gives you a chance to listen and hear a review of each episode and see what's going on with Westworld. Thanks for listening, guys, and we appreciate coming out for this episode. Our 2 lovely co-hosts. It was fun.
Yeah,
It was fun.
Thanks for listening. It was awesome.
We'll have to do it again.
Sorry for the swears.
Absolutely.
Yeah, come on, Casey. Well, bye now.
Bye. Oh, yeah, and that's the